Olá pessoal, bem-vindos ao meu canal e hoje eu tenho um vídeo pra lá de especial pra vocês. Só que esse vídeo vai ser em inglês. No momento eu tô falando em português, claro, mas assim, eu vou fazer uma entrevista muito especial e essa entrevista vai ser em inglês porque essa pessoa, obviamente, não sabe falar português, mas terão legendas pra vocês entenderem. E bem, essa entrevista é com um homem chamado Abduweli Ayup e ele esteve em um campo de concentração da China. Isso é para você que acha que na China não tem campo de concentração. É porque muita gente acha que não tem, muita gente acha que é fake news, muita gente acha que é coisa que não existe. Mas, gente, isso está acontecendo em pleno século XXI e ninguém fala nada. Ninguém fala nada, é um crime contra a humanidade que está acontecendo, fora dentre outros crimes que a China já cometeu e está cometendo contra a humanidade, porque eu prefiro não expor aqui algumas coisas que eu penso, mas já ficou claro, né, que eu acho muitas coisas a respeito da China e esse vírus aí que surgiu, né? Suspeito. Enfim, eu quero que vocês prestem bastante atenção na mensagem que essa entrevista passa para todos nós, porque é uma mensagem muito importante e são providências que nós, como cidadãos, devemos sim tomar o quanto antes. Nós precisamos boicotar a China, porque se nós não boicotarmos a China, nós perderemos a nossa liberdade cada vez mais, né? Isso já está acontecendo e vai acontecer cada vez mais, porque as pessoas acham que é brincadeira, as pessoas acham que tudo bem, quase todos os produtos que a gente usa aqui é tudo made in China e as pessoas acham que tudo bem, que a China é só um país que quer vender os seus produtos por um preço barato, mas ninguém sabe o que está por trás desses produtos, né? Tipo assim, por que eles são tão baratos? A gente vai falar sobre isso nessa entrevista. Por que será? Porque é mão de obra escrava, mas vocês vão entender melhor sobre isso. É mão de obra barata, entende? Tem pessoas fazendo isso, tem pessoas que estão sofrendo, pessoas que estão vivendo em condições subhumanas, né? Para fazer todos esses produtos que a gente tem aqui, que a gente usa na nossa casa mesmo, né? Então é importante a gente boicotar todos os produtos da China, mas a gente precisa levar isso a sério, porque a China está querendo monopolizar o mundo e ninguém está percebendo. Ou melhor, muitas pessoas percebem, mas acham que não vai acontecer nada, que é só, né, só quer vender seus produtos, mas não. Vocês não perceberam que depois do surgimento desse vírus, que eu não vou falar o nome, a China começou a mostrar suas asinhas aí pro mundo todo, né? Mas principalmente ali na Ásia, muitas tensões acontecendo. Hong Kong, né? China e Hong Kong, China e Taiwan, China e Índia. Eu morei na Índia, né, que vocês sabem, eu já falei aqui. Conflitos na fronteira de Caxemir entre a Índia e a China. Vocês não perceberam que só depois que esse vírus apareceu, que começou, né, que a China começou a abrir suas asinhas e mostrar quem eles realmente são para o mundo? Várias tensões acontecendo uma atrás da outra e o pessoal acha que a China está só de brincadeirinha. Assistam essa entrevista com muita atenção e repassem para outras pessoas, porque é de utilidade pública, todos precisam saber sobre isso. E todos precisam saber o que o povo desse rapaz da entrevista, os Uyghurs, estão sofrendo nas mãos, né, do governo ditatorial chinês. Então fiquem aí com a entrevista. So, Abduweli, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much for accepting my invitation to my channel. And today I want to know a little bit more about how it is the situation of the Uyghur people in the concentration camps. So the first thing I'm gonna ask you is, can you tell us a little bit more about who are the Uyghurs? Because here in South America, because I'm from Brazil, so in South America we don't know much about the Uyghurs because the media doesn't say anything about it. So I would like you to explain to my followers a little bit more about who are the Uyghurs and where do you come from?
Okay. Thank you for having me in this channel, and I would love to talk to you because of you are the first one who asked me to talk to you. Like you are the first one from Brazil. I have never talked to any like Brazilian journalist or any Brazilian guy in my life. This is my first time. I have never been to Brazil, so I want to say hello to samba dancer in Brazil, and I love that country because it's full of music and full of love and full of romance. Yeah, but our topic is not very romantic. It's a little bit sad, but it's good to know there is people, more than 12 million in the northwest part of China, and we border with Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, and Russia. And our south part is connected to Tibet. It's very famous in the world. And the Uyghur is just like a Tibetan and ethnic people in northwest part of China. And Chinese Red Army, Communist Army occupied our homeland after 1949 September, and then after October 1st, our homeland became the part of China. And before we have a republic two times, and people are there just looks like me, and uh, more Central Asian than Chinese, and our culture is Central Asian culture. Like we eat different food with Han Chinese, we practice different culture, and we love music as like a Brazilian, and especially love football. And you can see Brazilian football stars like picture everywhere in our homeland, and the people love like Brazilian soap opera. Yeah, I know. Like soap opera was sometimes very famous in our homeland, and yeah, people love music and they love dancing, and they love to express themselves with the different like poetry and yeah, very excited and very lovely and very energetic people.
Okay, very nice. And most of the Uyghurs people, you are Christian and Muslims, right?
Most of them are Muslim, but we have some Christian too. Mhm.
Okay, okay. And okay, now we're gonna start the complicated topic about concentration camps. So I want to understand why the people end up in concentration camps. Why did you end up in the concentration camps? What happened? Why this happens? I want to understand it.
Yeah, it's just because of the like we speak different language, we practice different culture, and like even music and dance totally different with the majority Han Chinese. And the communist government want to like assimilate Uyghur. Like they have been assimilating Uyghur since 70 years, but after this one belt on the road uh, initiative started, like I think the Brazil also joined the One Belt and Road initiative. Like China will wanna build Silk Road again and want to expand through sea, and like want to like cover the world with the Chinese products and with the Chinese investment and the Chinese uh, cheap and like products in everywhere. And because like we are located just Chinese west gate, like China, if China wanna expand the influence in Central Asia and in Middle East and in the Europe, the main road is on our territory. So like Chinese government after this like economical policy, after this road and the belt initiative, and like emphasized and strengthens the policy against Uyghur, and like want to eliminate Uyghur in a very short time. Another thing that the Chinese Communist Party ruled by a new ruler, his name is Xi Jinping, and he wants to like unite China culturally. Like he wants to unite China with only one culture, one language, one system, one party. The language is Chinese Mandarin, the like majority's language, and the culture is like Chinese culture and majority, and the other like because of Chinese Communist Party hate the religion, because we are Muslim and some of them are Christian, and the like Chinese government eliminate this Muslim and the Christian culture together, because the Chinese Communist Party don't believe any religion and they hate religion, and they wanna like eliminate the God of people's heart. That's why like Chinese government implementing this harsh policy and like arrested over 3 million Uyghur and other ethnic group to a concentration camp, just want to indoctrinate it, just want them to become atheist and communist and like the majority of Han Chinese lost their language. Why I end up in concentration camp? That's a good topic. Because of I had a Uyghur language kindergarten. Chinese government, the main goal is eliminate the nation, our Uyghur nation, and the first of all they tried to eliminate the Uyghur language, and we don't have a Uyghur language school, and we don't have a Uyghur language any kindergarten, and we don't have rights to speak our language in like public places, like government officials or schools, and because of that, I said it's not right. It's not constitutional. Like depending on Chinese constitution, we have rights to use our language in a school, and we have rights to use our language in kindergarten, and we have rights to use our language in any public spaces. It's legal, but the problem is, despite of we have these rights, but the problem is Chinese government never implement our rights, never give our rights to us. And I said, it's because of it's already there on the paper, and it should be implemented. Like we should have our rights back. It's there, and but the problem is the Chinese government never let us have our rights, and instead of supporting me and put me in the concentration camp and just want my followers and my students and want them to be silent and want them to follow the Chinese Communist Party instead of Uyghur culture and instead of Uyghur tradition.
And I mean, this is completely weird because how can you just end up in a concentration camp for the reason that you want to open a kindergarten? This is very weird. And of course, you were talking about religion, and I also heard that nowadays in China, the government is trying to stop even online codes for the Christians, for example. So, of course, this is a complete absurd. And one thing I want to know, I know it might be hard to talk about it, but I want to understand what happens inside these concentration camps.
Yeah, the first of all, after someone got arrested, the first thing is interrogation, and during the interrogation, they wanna destroy your dignity. Um, every question is just right and just yes and no questions. There is no how and what that kind of element. There is no exact that kind of element. Just ask you, you are a terrorist, right or not? You have done terrorist activity, right or not? You have met several people in somewhere to incite them to take terrorist action, right or not? All of the questions is like this. But I keep answering all of the questions no. I haven't answered anything, just say yes, because I have done nothing. I just had a mother language kindergarten, just want to teach our language to innocent kids, like from 3 to 6 years old. And they are very innocent and they cannot take any action against Chinese government and they are not threat to the government. They're just innocent kids. I just want to teach the language. So I never say yes. I never say I have done those so-called terrorism or separatism or extremism. I said, I'm just a legal citizen and I'm just having my citizenship. I'm just implementing my rights depending on Chinese constitution. So I did nothing wrong. I didn't break any law. I just a legal citizen. I just won just like outside as any other Han Chinese citizen. And because of this, electricized me and hang me up on the roof like this. And about I think about 2 hours. But for me, it's longer than my life because it's very very hard, very awful. And then put me in the cell. It's very small. It's just 5 square meters and 2 meter, about 1.5 meters high, and it's very low. and without like very small window, and there's no like light, and like very dim, very dirty, like you eat and breathe, is everything is there. Like there's no toilet, there's no bathroom, and it's just a room about like 5 square meters, and just you sit there and 24 hours, and yeah. And then like this is the first thing, and then like abuse. I don't want to talk about it because it's very sad. And then like I transferred to another concentration camp in Urumqi. I stayed the first one, stayed about 20 days, and because of people know where am I, and people want to visit me and something like that, and then they transferred to another concentration camp, and I stayed there almost a year. And then they transferred to the third concentration camp. I stayed there about 4 months, and then I got released. And during that time, like I saw people lost their conscience and died, people killed, and I know their names, and like people got out to kill, and I just lied next to them. I know that guy gonna kill the next day in the morning, and I saw that he's holding the picture of his kids and his wife, and he's crying, and I just saw what he was doing. And it's really hard to see someone is going to die tomorrow, and it's also the psychological torture for you, because you will be the next, or someone who should be the next. It's just in that place you're just waiting for your turn. It's not your turn, but tomorrow it will be your turn, and and then you will be the third. It means that you are just the lamb in the place, just like the butcher is coming one by one, just like this, because you are hopeless and helpless, and just stay there without any like medical care, and like you eat 3 times the same food. I eat the same food for 15 months, 3 times the same, like Chinese steamed bread and Chinese cabbage soup. This two type of food I eat 15 months, the same every day, 3 times the same food. Yeah, it's just like want you to say yes. Everything they have done want you to say yes, want you to follow the instruction, want to lost everything like spiritual. For example, that your identity, your religion, your belief, and your dignity, everything. Like want to snatch you everything. Just let you become like remains. Just let you become the one without any belief, without any culture, without any like dignity. Um, just the one who are eat and something, but not the human being with the dignity.
Okay, this is actually very sad. And so you were there for 15 months. This is what I understood.
Yeah.
15 months. And what about your family members? Did the government try to threat them somehow?
Um, they threatened them not to speak up, and they threatened them not to visit, and they threatened them to stay at home and be silent, and they keep silent. And another thing that they don't, the most tragic thing is they have never known where am I alive or not. That's the main problem, and I'm either. Like at the time my mother is more than 70 years old, and I was really afraid of losing her. But the problem is I don't know, is she was alive or is she is not. Like, and I don't know that when it will be ending, how long they will sentence me, and how long I will stay there. And like I even asked that, let me work, let me do something, and let me answer the question, interrogate me, instead of just staying there, just sitting and listen to the Xi Jinping's ideology, and the Communist Party's ideology, and the so-called like communism, something like that. Just let me do something. In that case, I can be tired and I can sleep easier.
Okay, yes, because actually I heard that you Muslims, you don't drink alcohol, you don't eat pork, right? And inside these concentration camps, they force you to eat pork, they force you to eat, to drink alcohol. Is that right?
That's testing your dignity. That's testing your identity. Like that, the place is test everything you don't want to accept.
I understand.
For example, the test, if you are a boy, test your sex. If you are a girl, test your sex. If you are a Muslim, test your belief. If you are a Christian, test your Christianity. Test everything. At the end, the goal is you just lose everything. Just say that I'm the one, follow everything. I'm the one who are living without dignity, without belief, without culture.
So, how did you get out of the concentration camp? Can you tell us?
Yeah, of course, because American Linguistics Association and like my friends in the United States and my friends in Europe and my friends in Australia, they protest against the Chinese government, and they wrote letters and they like applied to different human rights organizations. At the end, this international pressure released me. At the time, like people released me in 2014, and then now we can release those people like me. Like there are more than 3 million people are living in concentration camp, and because of we have done before, like saved the people like me, and our second chance to save so many people still on the camp.
Okay, yeah, this is a very important message because we can see clearly that united people can do anything. So, this is a very good example because a lot of people think, oh, nothing is gonna change. But if we don't do anything, nothing is gonna change at all.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And one another thing I want to ask is about the cheap labor because, for example, let's say 80% or 85% of the things we have here in Brazil, like the products, all of them are made in China. And I heard about this cheap labor, I heard that the government has made slaves to manufacture these products. So, are the Uyghurs doing this kind of cheap labor, or do you know something about it?
Yes, like the first 2 years, and the Chinese government indoctrinate people with the communist ideology, and after that, all of them become slave labor, and that's why Chinese government didn't release them because they are working free, and that's why Chinese products everywhere are cheap. It's because of Chinese government had this history. Like I grow up, I know that like all Chinese prison actually is a factory. Before, I know like for us, the prison is a factory, and after Chinese government in the like arrested our 3 million Uyghurs, and we don't know what will happen, but at the end China will follow their old way and let them all become a slave labor, and then they become slave workers in different factories, and some like more than 100,000 Uyghur transferred to Chinese provinces because maybe we don't have enough factory in like our homeland, and the more than 100,000 Uyghur transferred to Chinese provinces in like coastal area, and they became the forced labor. Like BBC tried to interview some of the Uyghurs, and they found the factory where Uyghur are working, but they found out that Uyghur are not allowed to go outside and not allowed to talk to the people. They have to live inside 24 hours. It means that even they are working at the factory, but at the same time, they are actually the prisoners because they don't have right to go outside, and they don't have the right to use cell phone, and didn't have to, they cannot communicate outside. It means that they're still in the prison.
One last question I want to ask you is about why is the media silent? Why is the media quiet about what is happening? And why are the governments from the whole world silent about it?
It's mainly because of the Chinese economical power and the money talk. And China, look for, I can make you one example that until now, um, Hollywood didn't take any action, didn't take any film, and didn't say anything. Why? It's because of market. Like there are more than 1.4 billion people are living in China. It means that it's a great market. It's a big market. And for example, that the NBC apologized to Chinese government because of they want to sell their like basketball match in China, and Hollywood they want to sell their film in China. That's why even Apple company lobbying against Uyghur, had lobbied against Uyghur. That's why, because of money. Money is talking. Another thing that China's economical power, China buy those media in some of the especially the East Europe and Latin America and Africa and Asia, and those media, if they talk, they will lose money. They will lose because the China share the stocks, and they will lose some of the stocks, and then they will lose their job. And the money is talking. But now we are just in the Second World War, people lost their freedom because of they are weak, because of they don't have enough weapon to protect themselves. But now we are not facing the weapon, we are not facing the gun, we are facing the money. One hand is freedom, another hand is money. Which one do you choose? China represent money, Uyghur represent freedom. In this way, most of the people automatically choose the money instead of freedom. That's why we are having this life. And but the problem is if this money will expand its power, you will become one of the prisoners in China. You cannot have your religion, you cannot have your culture, you cannot have your different type of idea. You just follow the same instruction. For example, the Chinese government interfered Venezuela with the surveillance technology, and they will interfere everywhere. In Brazil and in especially the Latin American country, they will interfere the business, and they will interfere the politics, and then create someone who always follow the China. It means that we are in a crucial point, we are in a historical point. Which one we want to choose, the money or the freedom? If we sacrifice our freedom to the money, it means that we become slave labor. China's slaving Uyghurs right now. In the future, China will slave everybody, especially those countries like Latin America and Asia and Africa. But we don't want the slavery, we want freedom. And if we want freedom, we should be stand with Uyghur.
This is the reality. A lot of people are actually choosing money, and this is really bad for our future, because when I start thinking about what might happen in the future, I get really sad, because China has a monopoly of of almost everything. As I told you, 85%, even 90% of the products we have here are from China. So I mean, it's very complicated. And what is the message you have for us?
I think most of the people think that we are ordinary citizens, we are ordinary people, and we cannot do anything. Actually, we can do many things. For example, that the money we are holding, we can choose the Chinese product and for example, Indian products or other Brazilian product. We can choose because money is in our hand. It means that we have this choice which one we can choose. It's our rights. And do we choose the one who are oppressing freedom and who are locked up the people over million? And do we choose the one a little bit expensive but nothing to do with the human rights violation? And we have this rights, and we have rights to talk to the media, and we have rights to talk to the Chinese government, and we can stand up and we can demonstrate and we can boycott Chinese products. Especially Chinese government will having Beijing Winter Olympic in 2020, and we can boycott them because they are earning money from our pocket. And we are not we should be decisive to keep our money, we should be decisive, keep on the right side. If in our everyday life, for example, why those like 90% of products occupied Brazil, it's because of Brazilian people want to buy it. If you stop buying it, how can they sell the products? And how can they lock up over 3 million people as a forced labor because of money?
This is true. This is true. So your message is very important. It's very good. I mean, I want my people to hear this because I really want us to change this reality. I really want us to start manufacturing products in Brazil. I mean, every country should do this. Every country should start manufacturing its own products.
Yeah, of course, especially this like pandemic, this corona. After this corona, we found out that if we rely on our economy to the third country, we will not have a better life anymore. For example, this kind of product, this kind of the pandemic, what can we rely if we don't rely ourselves? Like we should stand on the right side and we should rely on our own power, our own product, and we should have our national identity and national dignity in front of this oppression, in front of this Chinese cheap products.
Yes, exactly. And India, I have lived in India, so I can speak a little bit about it. So in India, I heard that they have boycotted all the Chinese products. They have boycotted even Chinese apps. So we should follow India's example.
Like Brazil is the important country in South America, and we can follow the India and for example, India boycott the Chinese apps, and what we are using, it means that we are like giving money to China. Everything we are doing is giving money to China, like products, Chinese apps, Chinese technology, everything. And like we can stop for a while, and then we have something our own. Maybe if you start to buy some Brazilian products, maybe one of us become rich and become like they create a job in our own land, and we can be our own owner. Like, why do we always have the cheap product and like follow the brutal ideology and like the communist ideology? Why are we doing this? Can we stop for a while? Just we stopped like now because of Corona. We think about it and rethink and think something else and follow our own way, not always follow the way we are enforced.
Even the masks, everything China sent us. This is not right. This is not right.
Yeah.
And Abduweli, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much for answering my questions. I'm really happy to have you as my guest. Bom, pessoal, eu espero que vocês tenham gostado dessa entrevista. Eu espero que vocês compartilhem com seus amigos, por mais que seja em inglês, tem as legendas, então todo mundo pode entender muito bem. E repassem, compartilhem, né? E a mensagem que eu tenho aqui é: boicote a China, sem pensar duas vezes. Sempre que eu posso boicotar a China, eu boicoto. E é isso, gente. Eu vou ficando por aqui. Se inscrevam no canal, cliquem em gostei e tchau.